Unscripted, uncut, and on the fly. You know, one of the things I talk about in an upcoming video project I'm going to upload here on YouTube is basically the topic that's gotten a lot of people talking, even before the official release of the final 3 episodes, the primetime series finale, this past weekend. You know, it's had people talking ever since the unintentional uploading of the whole final season by the Netherlands Videoland service, and then later on the hacks done at Hasbro and DHX. The one thing that really got under a lot of people's skin, or it's got them talking, is the fact that what they feared would happen looks like it's going to happen, and that is Twilight outliving her friends. The reason I bring this up is because in the last problem, and it's a bit of spoilers in case you haven't seen it, Twilight does achieve full Alicorn status. In other words, she goes full Celestia from a statuesque perspective. While her friends who show up later are still the same size as they were before. Basically, they're now smaller than her. Now, the reason with the exception of Spike, that is, but now the reason I bring this up is because Twilight still looks young and youthful despite her growth, if you know what I mean. However, you look at the rest of the main group, and they have aged. Pinkie basically looks somewhat the same because apparently she's the youngest in the group. But then you take a look at Rarity, you take a look at Applejack and Rainbow Dash, you take a look at Fluttershy, and of course you throw in Pinkie and even Spike in there, and it really starts to hit people that, oh my gosh, what Megan McCarthy told us on Twitter and on social media would not happen is going to happen. And that is the fact that Twilight, being immortal now, is going to outlive her friends. Or is she? You see, in the upcoming video, one of the topics I talk about is this very topic, and I bring up 2 theories and scenarios that I could see happening. Should fans want to interpretate this. Maybe Hasbro, IDW wants to interpretate this down the line. But I have 2 theories that pretty much confirm Twilight is not going to outlive her friends. Theory 1. The first theory is because this takes place in the future, or many moons later. Twilight has had time to not only grow into Celestia statuesque size, if you will, but she's also had time to read up on a lot of new spells, learn a lot of new spells. And I think one of the new spells that she has learned, basically, one of the new spells that is to share her immortality with others. In this case, share her immortality with her friends. So my theory is this. Twilight, sometime down the line, or throughout this many moons later time skip, learned about a new spell that would allow her to share her immortality with her friends, and thus she was able to, and thus what she did when she learned about the spell and mastered it, is she cast the spell upon her friends during one of the annual Council of Friendship meetups that they do once a moon or once a month, and thus enabled them, and thus by doing so allowed them to stay immortal, allowed them to become immortal and rule alongside her for who knows how many millennia to come. That's one theory. That's one theory, because I also believe that that she also threw in the stipulation, or threw in the added bonus, that when they reach a certain age, that not only will they stay and remain immortal, but when they reach a certain age or point in their life, that they'll start to regress back a few years to where they look like how they were when she first met them, or at least identical to it, or close to it. That's one theory. Second theory is this. The second theory is this. I believe that with the ending we were given, with Luster Dawn walking off with her new friends, her new group of friends, basically the new guardians of Equestria, the new, future bearers of the elements, or future leaders of Equestria. You kind of get the idea, kind of like the Student Six were. I could see a repeat of history. I can see Luster Dawn, because pretty much it's confirmed to be interpreted. It's confirmed to interpretation, if you will. That, like I said, Luster Dawn and her new friends that she walks off with at the end of the series are the new main six, if you will, the new main group that's going to protect Equestria. So my theory is this, and it's confirmed to be made into interpretation, however you see it. But because of the confirmation, in my opinion, I think history is going to repeat itself, and Luster Dawn, from a continuity standpoint, is being set up and being poised and ready to become the next Twilight. In other words, she's going to basically follow in Twilight's footsteps, become the next Twilight, become an Alicorn herself, and then when the time is right, Twilight's going to pass down leadership and rulership to Luster Dawn and her friends, just like Celestia and Luna did for her and her friends. But there's a catch. As I mentioned in Theory 1, Twilight's going to have a lot of time to learn all these different and new spells and even master them. So I believe in the second theory, she'll learn a spell and master a spell that will allow her to basically return back or revert back to her normal non-celestial status or statuesque form, basically the form we know her as, or the design we know her for. It will allow her to revert back to a normal-sized pony after she passes down rulership and leadership and basically her magic to raise the sun, raise the moon, and do all those kinds of things to Luster Dawn. That's what I believe could happen. And again, I'm interpreting this from basically what is confirmed as being the next group of guardians and saviors and protectors of Equestria that we see walk off at the end. And the reason I bring this up is because it would, like I said, it will be history repeating itself with Twilight now putting Luster Dawn into the same directive, or into the same, putting Luster Dawn on a similar journey, I should say, that she was put on by Celestia. And then when the time is right, she'll be passing down her magic and passing down her reign as leader, as princess, along with her friends doing the same thing, to Luster Dawn and her new friends to be ruler and co-rulers of Equestria for the next generation. So, and at the same time, I should say, when this happens, when she passes the crown down to Luster, she will revert back to her regular pony form, still as an Alicorn, but back to the regular pony form that we know of. Now you might say, well, what about her immortality? Well, that's why I think if there's any kind of immortality, that immortality is going to leave her. It's going to leave her, like I'm speculating, probably slowly left Celestia and Luna. I believe it left them slowly but surely after they passed their magic and leadership and rulership over to Twilight and her friends. I think the same thing will happen with Twilight. And I believe, again, she'll have a spell set in place, if not already, to be activated at the time that she passes down leadership and rulership to Luster and her friends. Thus, it would allow her to revert back to her normal pony Alicorn form that we know her for, and thus at the same time the immortality that we believe she has will start to slowly fade away and she'll become mortal again. Thus she will not outlive her friends, and her friends can go and probably do what Celestia and Luna did, and that's go off to Silver Shores and retire. Again, these are just theories. Again, folks, these are just theories. But what do you think of them? What do you think of my two theories that I came up with when it comes to Twilight not outliving her friends? Because I don't think she will. What do you think? What do you think of the two theories? About her, the one theory about her casting a spell on her friends to share her immortality so that they live as long as she does, if not forever. For like thousands of years into the next millennia. And what do you think of the other theory about her casting a spell, or at least having a spell cast and ready to be activated, go into motion the moment she does exactly what Celestia and Luna did for her and her friends, and that's passed down leadership and rulership to Luster Dawn and her friends, and then by doing so it allows her to revert back to her normal pony form, and then slowly whatever immortality she would have fades away and she becomes immortal. Or she becomes mortal again, I should say. What do you guys think of those theories? I'm sure you guys got some theories of your own, but let me know yours down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.